This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
I'm Roby Brock. Welcome to this edition of Talk Business and Politics. It is day 49 of the 93rd Arkansas General Assembly. A hodgepodge of legislation worked its way through the House and Senate today. Here's a quick rundown. In the House of Representatives, House Bill 1457 was debated. It allows a one-time tax credit of $500 to families of stillborn children. The bill passed 98-0 after emotional testimony from Representative Les Eves, the House sponsor. Senate Bill 183 also passed the House. It would prohibit candidates for office or elected officials from paying any ethics fines with campaign money. Heads back to the Senate for a vote on an amendment, then heads to the governor's desk for signature. In the Senate, legislators spent nearly an hour debating Senate Bill 107, which requires high school students to earn 1 unit of credit in a Department of Education approved high school computer science course before that student graduates. The measure was debated extensively on the Senate floor with questions about creating a new state mandate and what constituted a computer science course. It eventually passed on a 22-6 vote with another 6 members voting present. This was one of the first bills from Governor Asa Hutchinson's legislative package that we've seen advance. One of the other big stories of the day was the new Medicaid Expansion program rolled out by the state and legislators. It's called R-HOME. We actually brought you this story over the weekend. When we come back from this break, we'll run through some of the details of R-HOME, and we'll play some excerpts from that interview this weekend about the political challenges it faces with State Senator Missy Irvin and State Representative Michelle Gray, two of the lead sponsors. Also, after this break, we'll be joined by columnist John Brummett of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette for his take on state and national politics. Stay tuned. Talk Business and Politics is sponsored in part by Capital Advisors Group and...
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas. Our 17 electric distribution cooperatives are working day and night to provide reliable, affordable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses, just like yours. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
They say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But if you're looking for something more, Walmart has you covered. We provide quality care, no appointment necessary. Whether you're looking for fresh, healthy groceries to fill your prescription, get a flu shot, or pick up your next pair of glasses, we're standing by with in-store health professionals available across the country to offer patient-first, affordable care whenever you need it. Apples, optional.
R-HOME is the state's latest version of Arkansas Works, which is the upgrade from the private option that is the state's Medicaid Expansion program. Well, what is R-HOME and how does it work? Like Arkansas Works and the private option, there is a provision for health insurance to be provided by private insurance companies. Unlike Arkansas Works, there is no work requirement, but there are incentives to work. The economic argument: if Arkansas paid fee-for-service rates instead, the federal government would send an estimated $6.75 billion to the state, a reduction of $3 billion over a 5-year period. This reduction will result in significantly lower payments to hospitals, doctors, and other healthcare professionals, DHS says. It could result in hospital closures too. The health services argument: there are also 3 new programs to address critical needs with R-HOME. Rural Life 360 to help those in rural Arkansas, Maternal Life 360 for pregnant women and families, and Success Life 360 to help veterans, those who were incarcerated, and those once in foster care. And over the weekend, I interviewed State Senator Missy Irvin, Republican of Mountain View, and State Representative Michelle Gray, Republican of Bethesda, to find out what some of the political challenges are for R-HOME. Last question on this subject, and I'm going to come to you first, Representative Gray, just to mix you guys up, mix you ladies up a little bit here. There's no work requirement in R-HOME. There are some incentives to do some things like that, but you all are both also smart enough to know you got to whip some votes on this. Give me a sense of the political dynamics that are at work and getting this passed. Do you think that your colleagues are ready for this? Have you already talked to enough of them that you feel confident that you're going to get the 3/4 vote that you would need to pass something like this?
Yeah, so come to me first. I love that. You give me like the hardest question first. No, so I've been talking to the members throughout my chamber. I think the hardest thing, like you mentioned earlier, was those that think we should go to fee for service. I don't know. I probably will not ever get their vote on this. I do feel that we'll be able to get this through the chamber, I think, rather easily. The part in the past, and this is what I think so many people love about this plan, in the past, we've treated all 200 and something thousand people like in a cookie cutter model. We've treated them all the same. Here's an insurance plan, do what you want with it. Now what we're doing is saying that doesn't work. So here's a piece for veterans, here's a piece for pregnant women, here's a piece for DYS and foster kids, and we're tailoring it so much that I actually expect to see some true outcomes and helping people become better community members and a better place in life. So I actually do think that we'll be able to navigate it, at least through my chamber. I'll let Senator Irvin talk about her chamber, but through my chamber, just through the innovations.
Representative Gray has all of those level-headed House members down there. Senator, you got a bunch of knuckleheads down there with you. So how are you going to convince your colleagues in the state Senate that this is the right path to go? What do you think of where things stand today in terms of the political calculation?
Well, it probably wouldn't be referring to them as you have. But,
I say that with a lot of adoration there. So I'm friends with quite a few of them.
So we are a deliberate bunch, and we're a rowdy bunch sometimes too. Love the Senate chamber. We've had great meetings and great conversations with the senators around this new proposal, and several of them have had input. Actually starting since last February. For me, I think the bottom line is you've kind of got three different buckets of people. You've got those that Representative Gray discussed that think there's a better alternative. But then the majority, I think, really see the financial outcomes, right? So you've got these our Life 360 homes. They're absolutely tailored. They are directed towards reaching better health outcomes for the state of Arkansas. That is what all of our policy should be about. We should always, always try to reach a better outcome for the state of Arkansas and for our citizens, no matter what the policy is. And so that is a huge component for some people. But I think for the majority of my senators, it's about the bottom line. Are you willing to rip $3 billion out of the healthcare infrastructure in the state of Arkansas? And is that financial outcome enough, even just on its own, for the success of our economy in the state? And I think that's a real question that people have to answer. And, that goes to the jobs in their districts. That goes to the people that are on the program. Are you going to kick them off in the middle of, we're still on pandemic? Are they going to lose their access to care because we went a route that doesn't pay our providers more? And so I think the bottom line is really that. And I would also say that there's got to be some accountability for those dollars that we're spending. And so we've also worked into this plan an oversight and transparency and accountability panel made up of legislators. So it's an ongoing conversation.
That's Senator Missy Irvin, Representative Michelle Gray, and also DHS Secretary Cindy Gillespie was with us on that conversation. You can check out the full interview at talkbusiness.net. We spoke for almost a half hour about a lot of the details of R-HOME. I encourage you to check it out. When we come back from this break, columnist John Brummett of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. What does he think of Governor Hutchinson's relaxation of the rules around the pandemic? Sarah Huckabee at CPAC, and the aforementioned R-HOME program. More Brummett right after this. Talk Business and Politics is sponsored in part by Impact Management Group and
we have a large commitment to our solar for good reason. It lowers customers' rates. It's emissions-free.
Entergy Arkansas is the largest provider of solar in the state of Arkansas.
Utility-scale solar is much more economic for customers. We're going to operate it. We're going to maintain it. We're going to focus on it. That's what we do for a living.
We want to continue to find ways to partner with our customers to meet their renewable energy goals.
Customers want this. We want to provide it. So our commitment is for the long term.
stepping into the unknown, it can be difficult to find the way. But with the compassion of the cross and the security of the shield, obstacles become openings. As we have for more than 65 years, we'll continue to light the way, using our knowledge to create new healthcare solutions, giving you the power to shine forward to whatever awaits tomorrow. Arkansas Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Live fearless.
Welcome back. Joining me now is John Brummett, columnist with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. John, good to see you as always.
Good to be with you on a good Monday.
Let's begin with, at the end of last week, Governor Asa Hutchinson decides that he is going to remove all of the directives and make them guidelines with the exception of one, and that is the mask mandate. And he's given a March 31st deadline for that, as well as the public health emergency. Are we about to be out of our public health emergency?
Sounds like it if the numbers stay manageable. But the last time we relaxed prematurely and we spiked. This is just a philosophical difference, I guess. I think you take every precaution for health and you make triply certain that you can relax. He relaxes, he's of a middle ground that imposes rules and tries to act responsibly, but relaxes at the first opportunity. And then you've got his right-wing flank in the legislature that doesn't want any regulation at all. But we're in a position of hoping it's not too early. I wouldn't do it that way, but I've warned that things are going to happen that didn't turn out to be as horrible as I predicted, and we can hope that will be the case here.
Yeah, I think last summer, if you'll recall, when we went from phase 1 to phase 2, there were a lot of people saying, wait, this is not, the best timing on this. And we kind of lucked out. We did not have as terrible of a summer as we thought that we might from that move. Of course, it did get worse in the winter. We might luck out again, I guess is my point.
Yes, and let's hope so. And there's nothing, and there's something redeemable and right about saying, okay, we're doing better. It is also of great benefit to all of us if our economy can reopen and people can do more things. We are, after all, a free society. I get this attempt to calibrate. I just think sometimes I would calibrate differently, more slowly. And we all hope that this is a meaningful reduction. And we hope these vaccines just get into arms. By the way, I got mine last week. They just get into arms, or my first one, quickly. And there is a way out of this thing, thank goodness.
All right, John Brummett, more conservative than Governor Asa Hutchinson. Put that
That's
one
me.
down.
I always have been. Greatly misunderstood.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this today, Monday. As we are speaking, we are going to see the unveiling of a new Medicaid expansion plan. We don't have the private option anymore. We don't have Arkansas Works anymore. We're going to go for something called R-HOME, ARHOME. Is just this more window dressing? Do you think there's something that actually might be a little bit more transformative in this latest attempt?
Well, I've not seen their full formal announcement. I've seen your interview. I've read your piece. Excellent. I read the Arkansas Democrat's front page, the Democrat Gazette's front page piece. Based on what I have read reliably and heard, I would say this is more window dressing. I mean, dadgummit, Arkansas, I just wish it could accept nice things. I mean, the private option was one of the best things ever done by our state government. It was bipartisan, it was innovative, it was a national prototype of a way that a red state could take Medicaid expansion money under the Affordable Care Act and apply some of its own principles. We have insured, health insured through 250,000 poor people. We have kept rural hospitals open. We have fortified the state budget with 90-10 matching billions from the federal government. And now, and then along the way, we had every 2 years, we're trying to get the extreme conservatives to vote for it. And we go through these schemes. One year we put a thing in saying we're going to do away with it, and knowing that the governor was going to line item veto it. And then the work requirement, when plainly federal law says this is a health program. It's not a leverage to get people to work. We threw tens of thousands of people off and found a job for not one of them, and the federal courts threw it out. And now we're going to take the private option, which became Arkansas Works, and we're going to call it Arkansas Coat of Paint or something. What is it? Arkansas HOME.
ARHOME.
Yeah, okay.
Arkansas Health and Opportunities for Me.
And they're putting in special little play pretties for special groups, including special help for pregnant women. This would be the same legislature that says you can't get an abortion in the event of rape or incest or pregnancy resulting from that. But they're going to take care of it's just call the roll and vote on it. I'm tired of Roby, you and I both, and those of us who've been around a while, we have fought this battle, written about it, agonized about it every 2 years. We've changed it back. We got a nice thing. I thought, forgive me for rambling, but I thought after 10 years, the original waiver's up, let's just reply to re-up the waiver. But no, now we can't have a work requirement. Here I go again. But we're going to have work incentive, which means, get this, work incentive. If you'll demonstrate that you're looking for work, you can keep your private health insurance. But if you don't do that, we're going to take your private health insurance away and put you basically on fee-for-service Medicaid. Who's that hurting? It's hurting the rural health providers because basic fee-for-service Medicaid pays more slowly and usually at a less ratio, and it takes those people out of the state insurance pool which helps our private premiums. Whatever they think they've got to do, but just look. Here's the choice. Through it all, here's the choice: re-up Medicaid expansion, or board up rural hospitals. Okay, but call the roll. That's really all.
All right, that's a good way to put it into the bluntest of terms there. But I sense your exasperation. We've been having this debate for part of the last decade.
I heard the fine legislators yesterday. They're proud of little tinkering that they've done. It's window dressing to try to keep this thing acceptable. And it is acceptable in its original form, and it is as long as I've been covering state government, it's the best thing they've ever done. Best thing they've ever done.
All right. Well, we would love to know where our leading candidate for governor in 2022 stands on a Medicaid expansion, as well as some other political issues. But right now, she's just fighting the far left agenda, which I guess is you and a couple of your neighbors in Hillcrest, a few folks up in Fayetteville.
You're stealing phrases from my Tuesday column.
What do we make of Sarah Huckabee Sanders? She has been invisible in Arkansas since she announced for governor, but she's visible on the national stage at CPAC.
CPAC, this right-wing carnival they had in Orlando, where they have a golden calf of Trump. Lord, She's the Saturday night entertainment with her dad at the Reagan dinner, and this woman is asking her stuff, and I'm watching, and she's getting cheered by all these Floridians mostly. I mean, they got a big vote down there for DeSantis in the presidential poll, indicating that it was inordinately Florida, but extreme right-wing people, Trumpian people, and she gets the question is why, after all the agony of dealing with the national media and that impossible job as press secretary, why are you getting back into politics to run for governor of Arkansas? And Sarah Sanders answered without mentioning Arkansas. She said basically she's running because she loves America and the radical left is trying to destroy America. Okay, that's why she's running for governor of Arkansas. Let me tell you, the radical left is not a problem in Arkansas. There are a half dozen to 43 people in the radical left in Arkansas. Let me tell you the problem for Arkansas. The radical right, which is in the legislature making laws. That's where the problem is. Later, this woman at CPAC says, why should the people of Arkansas vote for you? Now. Sarah will talk about her vision for the state. She's returning to this state that she loves, so she will have some plan for it, and she will now explain that. You know what she said? She said, I know who I am. My creator made me, and I don't have to have the New York Times or CNN define who I am, and that's why people should vote for me, because I know who I am. Really? Creator made me, I know who I am. I don't think you ought to make me governor. I'm a little bit irascible. I'd be unpleasant to put up with for 4 years. That's no reason to be governor. If you're going to go to Washington and make it to the big time, and you're going to come back to your state and run for governor, then presumably you would do so because you care about your state and you have some notions about what to do about Medicaid. What's your view on this Medicaid expansion? How does she think we ought to go on that? How about these voting restrictions that are passing? Little Rock schools. What's she got on that? Rural Arkansas and the need to modernize and rescue the economy. What's she got on that? Well, she's not even here talking about it. She's at a Trump right-wing carnival, and she's talking about the left, the radical left coming for all of us, and there's no radical left coming for us in Arkansas. I find it very offensive, and I find it shocking. I mean, there's one thing for your politics to become nationalized, but to run, presumably just simply to repeat Trumpian resentments and contrived fears as if Arkansas is just going to be an outpost for the next insurrection. That's what she's doing. I'm sure it will succeed. I'm sure she's at 60 points plus in the polls, but it's an outrage. It simply is an outrage.
All right. He is John Brummett, columnist with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. I just don't know how to put whipped cream and a cherry on top of that exasperation sundae that you just expressed.
Well, if you don't think I made myself clear about how I feel, we can do a take two on this. But that's
You're
just
good.
All right, man.
All right. Thank you.
It's always good to talk to you. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. That's all for today's program. I'm Roby Brock. Thanks for watching.